The news is out. 5 years is long enough. I'm going to record another original worship album. I'm really excited. Production starts in the summer. But before that, I wanted to share a couple lessons that I learned about recording by making my own album. So that if you're in the same boat, if you're a church or a singer-songwriter who wants to record their own original music, you can learn some things from everything that I went through over the 2 years that it took to record my first album. So here it goes. Lesson number 1, don't learn all that you can. Get a good teacher. Information is everywhere. Obviously, with YouTube and the internet, it's all at your fingertips. And people who are good at what they do will tell you, they'll give you this advice. Just learn all you can, right? That's not actually good advice. The good advice is get a good teacher. And here's why that is. When I first started recording and wanting to learn about the recording process, I thought, okay, well, I should learn all I can. So, you go look at YouTube videos and you get a little bit here and a little bit there. I didn't have a comprehensive way of understanding how the entire process worked. I needed a step-by-step approach. I needed to know, more importantly than, what all knowledge is out there, I needed to know what to ignore. And that might be the boat you're in. So what I did when it was time to really learn how to record, I knew that I had gaps in my knowledge. And so I said, okay, I'm going to pretend like I'm a stark raving beginner. Is there a course for beginners? And I found one. His name is Graham Cochran. He runs a website called The Recording Revolution. And this was 5 or so years ago. I went and bought his course on complete home recording. I can't remember what the name of it was. But it was awesome because it took me through the entire process. And I acted like I didn't know anything. And I took notes on everything that he said in his videos about his entire course. And the lights started coming on. I knew some of that. I knew some of that. I didn't know that. That was different. By the time I was done with that course, I really began to understand the recording process. And then when I recorded my album, 10 songs, and I put into practice 10 times what he had been talking about, then I really began to understand it. Sometimes with knowledge, there might be a piece of advice that you get from an elder statesman or somebody who really knows what they're doing, and you're 5 years away from even understanding what it is they're talking about. What you need is the first steps. So if you're in my boat where you want to learn how to record, I would highly suggest Graham Cochran's The Recording Revolution. I should mention, I don't get any money from him. I'm not affiliated with him. I'm just a big fan, and I think he does awesome work. So if you want to get going, go buy that. Another thing that really helped me was called puremix.com. Fab DuPont has a beautiful website that goes even more in depth. So it's not necessarily for beginners, but it is really, really good stuff. So those two websites probably were 80% of what I had for intake when I was learning the recording process. And I'm so glad that I found a great teacher who would take my hand and take me from the beginning to the end. So, step number 1, get yourself a good teacher. Don't just try and learn everything you can from YouTube. Tip number 2 for recording your own album, it will take longer than you think. I thought that I would be done with most of my tracking, principal instruments, in 6 months. And it took me 2 years to do the whole thing. Along the way, I had so many setbacks. I had gear go down. I had interfaces, which is the thing that takes your audio from your microphone into your computer. I think I went through 2 of those. My computer software went through a crazy update that almost lost a bunch of stuff. I was waiting for instruments to be built that I wanted to track on the album. It took a long time. But I don't think it took longer than it should have. I just expected it to go like that. And why should I have expected it? I was actually learning the recording process while I was in the middle of it. Imagine trying to make a car having never made a car before. 2 years was about right. I don't know why I thought it would, relentless optimism or just naivete. I thought that it would be done way faster. It took 2 years. But hey, now I know that having done that, It will go much faster this next time around. How long? I don't really know, but I'm definitely not going to say 6 months because I just had unrealistic expectations the first time around. So give yourself grace. Know that it's going to take some time, especially if you haven't done this before, but it will be worth it. The third thing that I learned is kind of funny. After you've recorded an entire album and you listen back, most times you listen back, all you're going to hear is your hard work. And that's okay. I actually get more enjoyment from having other people listen and them tell me what they thought because they just get to experience the music without having all of the, man, that was a lot of editing, that was a lot of work, that was a lot of tracking, that was a lot of waiting and retracking. And, I hear all that. That's what comes back to me when I listen to my album. But when other people listen, they don't have to worry about that. They just get to enjoy it. It's worth it. It really, really is worth it to have that sense of achievement that I made something that will keep going. It will keep blessing people. And so make sure that you allow yourself to have that sense of accomplishment and take those that feedback and those compliments from people because it is worth it, even though it is a lot of work. And the cool thing is that sense of accomplishment is going to make you do another one. You are going to want to record another album by the time that you're done. Maybe not immediately, but you will want to record another one. And that's good. Keep at it. Hey, if you want to stay in touch with Blueprint Sounds, go to my website, blueprintsounds.com, and you'll see a pop-up for 23 things what every worship team and tech team should hear. If you click onto that, that'll get you to my newsletter so that when these new videos come out, you'll be the first to see them in your email because the fun thing about this new album that I'm doing is I'm taking everybody along for the ride. I'm going to make a video diary of my process so you can look over my shoulder and see how it goes from pre-production to tracking and recording to mixing to finally releasing the final product. I'm so excited to get started on it, but I want to take you guys with me. So until then, God bless and bye.